Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ronan. I'm with Liz Cross, and we're going to see if Mrs. O'Malley's cow was really responsible for the fire in Maui or not. How are you doing, Liz?
Oh, great. I've heard that it's aliens with laser beams.
I don't know what happened, but apparently Maui has been struck on fire, and people are wondering why didn't the warning systems happen? There's almost 100 people dead now, so
Terrible.
very sad news to hear that they're uncovering more and more debris and finding more and more people. So can you tell us what happened to Lahaina and that area of Maui?
What happened? So I'm going to grab it as a whole. What happened to that area? It started with a very small fire. I feel like it was some dry sort of brush, and it just spiraled out of control quickly. Were these fires started on purpose? No, I don't feel like they were started on purpose.
Was it started by an individual or just by a spark in the brush?
Started by No, it was a spark in the brush.
There should be a network of 400 sirens that go blaring in the case of an emergency, and people are saying they didn't hear them. What happened to the state of emergency system?
It malfunctioned. It malfunctioned. There's always been problems with that system. I feel what's coming through, and I don't, I haven't been to Hawaii since I was a very small child. I don't know a lot about Hawaii, but I feel like it wasn't being run properly, and they knew that there was a malfunction or problems with that system. I feel like it was rarely tested. I feel like it was old. It needed massive upgrades, and that's why there was a big failure.
Is this any type of payback karmically for the area or the island? Is it an attempt to reclaim the island as it once was?
Ooh, Hawaiians are very spiritual people. Every time I do readings out of Hawaii, it's always really special because the volcanoes and so many different things that go on there, offering sacrifices to the volcanoes. I'm not talking about dead children or dead animals. I'm just like placing candles at the base of the volcanoes and maybe like some food. And what is interesting about the volcanoes is they're actually made up of many souls within the volcano. Sorry, I was on a tangent. What was the question?
Just is this any type of karmic payback to incinerate the island to bring it back to its natural state?
It's a cleansing. Absolutely. It's a cleansing.
Who was responsible for this cleansing? Was it one of the old gods?
The land itself. It needed to be cleansed. I feel like what was going on there is that it was being polluted. Something to do with the sewage systems. And I have no idea what that means. But I feel like the sewage systems, the water is being polluted, the land is being polluted. It's no longer as fertile as it once was. The mass habitation, human habitation, has really messed with the flow of the island. energy in Hawaii really has to flow, and it was being blocked in so many ways. And I just feel like the flow was, there was such an imbalance there. That's why the island decided to cleanse itself.
Tourists are warned to not visit a lot the area of disaster. Uh, the Polynesians, how are they going to rebuild from this trauma? Is it going to be beneficial to them? Is there going to be more money coming into the island to rebuild, or
Well, I feel like it's been declared a state of emergency, which will release a lot of federal funding. Um, I don't feel it'll ever be the same again. I really don't. I think they're going to proceed with caution. I feel like the infrastructure was slapdash anyway, is what I'm getting. There wasn't a lot of thought going into the infrastructure. It was like slapping houses all over the place, slapping, pipelines, putting all this stuff down. And for such a sacred land like Hawaii, or lands, islands like Hawaii, you just can't disrupt that place in that way.
moving ahead, do you see foreign influence coming in to try and assert their role, or will they be diligent in making sure that Hawaii is rebuilt Hawaiian style?
Well, there's always opportunists, is what I'm getting. They'll make bids to come in and rebuild, but Hawaiians and the Hawaiian government are very much into Hawaiian preservation. They don't like anyone really outside of locals. I feel like they really try to keep it as local as possible. Listen, the locals have a difficult time out there. You've got a lot of people with a lot of money. They're building houses, they're pricing the locals out. They often don't have, not everybody, but some of them, these big developers, have zero respect for the island, the culture, the people. It's all about maximizing profits. And Hawaii, the energy that I'm picking up is very much like live minimally, right? Respect the island, respect the earth. And you have all these people going in and just ripping the place apart. Um, Something else came through as you were asking questions, which is the land is cursed. I feel its ancestors, even maybe up to 2, 3, 4,000 years ago, had such deep respect for the land, the volcanoes, that anyone who tries to destroy it, they put a curse on the land. So the land will continuously cleanse itself. I feel that very strongly.
And this is another attempt to purify that land.
Is this another attempt? Yes, to keep it in balance. The land is saying it needed to be balanced. It had just been so overbuilt. And, the universe and wild weather patterns and earthquakes and natural disasters, that's always a reminder of how powerless we are as humans, and that we're just mere like little blips. We're like ants, right? And in the grand scheme of things. But that island, that is definitely cursed. Now, do I think people should remove the curse? I mean, I don't know. I don't live there. That
Can
would
the
be up
curse
to
be
the local.
removed?
Can the curse be removed? No, no, it can't be removed. It is an ancient, deep curse that protects those islands. It's a protective curse. Wow.
So this is King Kamehameha, one of the polarizing figures in Hawaiian history. And can you bring him in so we can ask him some questions about the fire?
Ooh, yeah. He's quite harsh. Okay.
You're long revered on the island. Do you feel that reverence is misplaced?
No. They need to have a leader. I feel what he's telling me is the whole leadership has gotten out of hand. It's all about profit and it's nothing about the land at all. They don't understand that that is sacred ground.
It is that what you felt about the land, that it was sacred ground?
Absolutely.
You took Hawaii and other islands in the Pacific chain. Was it your desire to return them to a natural Polynesian state?
Well, it was so fertile, right? And it's so appealing and so beautiful. And he's saying it didn't belong to the world, it belonged to us.
And you felt that it was your destiny to protect that land for the future inhabitants?
Okay, I have to give you what he's given me. The white man comes along and ruins everything.
Has he incarnated since as a white individual
No,
in Hawaii?
he always reincarnates in Hawaii. What was his time frame in that lifetime?
The, older days, 1890s, around there.
Mm-hmm. He came back in as a female.
What does he think about the fire that happened recently?
Well, his opinion is not, it's going to ruffle a lot of feathers. I mean, he's like, it's good for the island, right? He has a lot of deep respect for the power of the island. It's not just about living there. It's not, again, here's another one saying it's not about money, it's about legend, harnessing its spirituality, increasing your own connectivity to the universe and beyond through the energy of the island. Deeply spiritual place.
So Kamehameha was born in 1758 and is believed to have been the answer to a prophecy that was going to combine all of the islands in the Hawaiian chain and successfully unifying them.
Okay.
So was it his destiny to become that person?
He is the great protector.
I wanted to bring in the last queen before the annexation of Hawaii, and I'm going to butcher her name here, but this is Liliuokalani. I think this is Queen, and she was abdicated, thrown in jail, and because she sort of stood in the way of, well, see if we can get her in and see what her thoughts are on the destruction in Maui.
Very similar to the man we were talking to. Good. It serves them right. And I'm like, okay, but hold on. People died. And they're very sort of ruthless about the land. They're saying, it just, that's what happens when you mess with such a spiritual presence. Hawaii has a consciousness of its own, and it keeps sending signals out to its inhabitants. Stop what you're doing, respect the land. And these messages are not being heard. The government is so far removed, according to their personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions, not mine. I don't know anything about the Hawaiian government, but what they're saying to me is the Hawaiian government is so far removed from the natural agenda of its own existence that it doesn't even know itself anymore. It's losing that spirituality, a place of comfort, a place to discover yourself, a place of being full of gratitude with these reminders that the universe is more powerful than you. The government doesn't care about that. It's completely, really, they're trying to turn it around now, but it's almost like it's gone too far in the other direction to ever be rectified. So then the land is going to cleanse itself.
And it's going to cleanse itself, and it's going to be rebuilt in hopefully a better way and not impacted in such a way that damages the land. What does the rebuilding process look like 25 years out?
What does the rebuilding process look like? I feel like there's more crowd control. It's not, building these massive complexes, skyrise apartments. I feel like they're starting to get more crowd control. That many people living in such a small space, it spells disaster. It just is so destructive. And what they're saying is a level of disrespect that is unheard of.
It doesn't allow you to be, there's just so much noise too. Ku is one of the four great gods of, as long as Kanaloa, Kanye, and Lono. I wonder if we could bring in the energy of Ku to see what he thinks about the purge that happened in Maui and whether that's going to happen on any of the other islands.
Oh, okay. Is that going to happen on any other? Yes, but I feel like it'll be through volcanic eruptions. It's now the land versus the people.
Do you animate any physical humans, or do you just give power to the land?
Yes, in the structure of the land. So the green, the water, the volcanoes, the hill, the lush foliage and vegetation.
Did you ever incarnate as a human?
No.
Is there a meeting of other gods in different areas, or are you the prime god of the Polynesian islands?
I feel like there's different gods over different areas. There's the weather, there's fire, there's water. It's a very energetic place. You can feel the power of it.
How has the influx of people and the living conditions changed that area?
Well, again, it's taking away from the spiritual treasures that are held in the island. They're just coming there to use it as a rich man's playground, is what I'm getting. And that's not what Hawaii is all about.
What is the nature of Hawaii? What is it all about?
It's about connecting with your spirituality and connecting with source.
Are there ley lines and portals that have been overwritten with the infrastructure, and did those get opened up with the fire?
That's a good question. Yes, yes, there has. And by building on top of the land, you're quashing the power and the energy. So this is all about it's taking its power back.
I got that when I was originally looking at the cause of it too. But what does it mean? How can you regain that power? How can you get in tune with yourself by going to Hawaii? And how long will we have to wait until we can go and be rekindled by those spiritual fires? Not fires that way, but spiritual enlightenment.
It's going to take 300 years to cleanse itself. Okay. And it's going to become an undesirable place to live only for the brave who are willing to take the risks associated with living there. It's just destroying its power. I mean, it's going to take a long time to fix all of this. I think there's going to be a lot more destruction to come. Now, is it going to happen tomorrow or, no. But certainly over the next 200 or 300 years, you're going to see a tearing down of the communities there in one way or another through natural disasters, and I feel also earthquakes. And it's going to run the people out of there. It's been patient. It's been kind. It's been giving, generous, loving. But those energies, and this really is to do with the non-locals, those energies are not being reciprocated back to the land. Before, years and years ago, I'm talking, hundreds of years ago, people always had respect for the land. Always. Every single day they gave gratitude and thanks for being able to be there, being able to connect, being able to be in a place that has plentiful. It made for an easier existence as far as humans are concerned, especially when it comes to growing food. Again, very fertile. But they also had a lot of respect, a lot of ceremonial respect for the island as well. But that is eroding with the generations. And as the island is being infiltrated by non-locals, it's eroding more generations. So people are becoming far more materialistic. Obviously, they have to be because it costs a bomb to live there. But they're becoming far more materialistic. That's not what that island's about.
It's going to take a long time to rebuild, and it's not going to be the same. Please, if you plan to go, Be very cautious. Any final parting words for the folks listening?
Yeah, I think it's just you're going to have to proceed again, exactly what you said, proceed with caution. You cannot just keep going into these places, and yes, they're beautiful, but you have to conform to their beauty. You can't just keep going into these places and destroying them. It's just not how it's supposed to be. There's so much sacred energy there.
Make sure to pack your suitcase helicopter if you go. Thank you so much, Liz. Thanks everybody for listening.
Yeah, this
Cheers.
this was interesting. Thank you.